If you like scary stories involving night trips, get ready to hear surprising stories in this video. Hey guys! Today, I'm going to share with you 3 real horror stories that happened during night trips. Get ready to hear chilling stories that will blow your mind. On a densely foggy night, the driver left work at an isolated bar and began his evening journey home. The dark winding roads cut through the rural landscape, plunged into darkness. Visibility was extremely reduced due to the thick fog, forcing the driver to reduce speed and remain alert. Amid the opaque mist, he saw a flashing yellow light on the side of the road. Initially, he thought it was a common marker or reflector, but something wasn't right. The light seemed to follow him, always remaining at the same distance, as if it were moving in sync with his vehicle. This strange presence generated increasing discomfort in the driver, who decided to slow down in an attempt to understand what was happening. However, the light persisted in its incessant dance, remaining unchanged in relation to the driver's car. This disturbing synchronicity sent chills down the driver's spine, prompting him to come to a complete stop to investigate more closely. At this tense moment, he noticed that the car's engine was silently turned off, with no apparent explanation. His desperate attempt to restart the vehicle was unsuccessful. At the same time, the yellow light gradually increased in intensity, as if it was responding to something invisible. On a deserted night, an experienced truck driver was finishing his nightly delivery route on a remote road. Only the roar of the engine and the darkness accompanied him as he approached his final destination. Suddenly, as he checked his rearview mirror, he saw a shadowy SUV that seemed to be following him in the distance. The presence of the unknown vehicle sent a chill down his spine, as it was unusual to find other cars in that isolated region and late at night. Even maintaining the speed, the SUV remained visible behind him, always maintaining the same proportional distance. This play of shadows on the deserted road caused the feeling of being watched to grow within the truck driver, who had decided to stop at a nearby rest station. However, upon arriving at the location, he got out of the truck only to realize that the sinister SUV had also parked at the location, remaining in the shadows at a discreet distance. A sports car enthusiast decides to go out on a hot summer night for a solitary drive through the back roads. The gentle night breeze came through the open windows of his BMW M3 as he sped along the empty asphalt, making the most of the vehicle's power and agility. With the sound of the engine highlighted and no music playing, he focused on the car's inspiring noises and the sensation of speed. At one point, something unexpected caught his attention. He noticed a flash on the road ahead and hit the brakes in time to avoid a collision. When he stopped the vehicle, he managed to identify the object he had almost hit. A shopping cart was there, in the center of the deserted road, as if someone had left it on purpose. The way the car's headlights reflected off the metal bars made it seem like a sudden and dangerous obstacle. Intrigued by this unusual scene, he decided to park the car, turn on the warning lights, and go out to investigate more closely. Perhaps against his own judgment, he let curiosity prevail over common sense and slowly approached the cart. As absurd as it was to find an empty cart in the middle of the road at midnight, something about it awoke a disturbing feeling in the car enthusiast. During the night drive, a lone driver comes across 2 mysterious figures emerging from the shadows of the night. Their dark and sinister silhouettes advance towards the vehicle with disturbing slowness, as if moving in a supernatural way. The driver feels a shiver run down his spine as he watches the strange pair getting closer and closer, without making a sound. Their faces are obscured by dim light, making it impossible to distinguish their expressions or intentions. While one of them stops just meters from the car, the other continues moving forward until colliding with the passenger door in an unexpected and frightening impact. The driver is overcome by panic as he stares with the empty, lifeless eyes of the intruder, who seems not to care about the collision or the presence of the vehicle. A mystery surrounds these dark beings, leaving the driver in a state of horror and perplexity at this strange and inexplicable interaction in the dead of night. After the terrifying experience during his overnight journey, the driver returned home, dazed and eager to be free of the supernatural encounter. As he inspected his car for damage, a feeling of uneasiness came over him as he noticed something strange. The moonlight revealed dark stains on the shiny metal, looking like fresh blood smeared across the door and side mirror. A shiver ran down his spine as he realized that these were no ordinary stains, but rather genuine blood marks, exceedingly visible in the night light. Next to the marks, he identified a slight dent in the passenger door, almost imperceptible if it weren't for the proximity of the red glow that surrounded it. The driver's mind wandered between rational explanations and irrational fears as he tried to understand how that dark blood and those sinister marks ended up on his vehicle, coloring his night with a tone of disturbing mystery. During a stormy night, a young couple decides to go on a night trip to celebrate their anniversary. The gloomy weather and thunder echoing on the horizon create a tense scenario that is reflected in the vehicle's atmosphere as they travel through dark, winding roads. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appears in front of the car, forcing the driver to brake sharply to avoid a collision. However, when they look closely, they realize that there is nothing there but the dense fog and torrential rain. The couple feels a shiver down their spines as they realize that something inexplicable and frightening has just crossed their path, leaving them with the disturbing feeling that they are not alone on that terrible night. On a lonely night trip, an itinerant musician decides to take a shortcut through a little-known country road. The sound of the engine echoed in the silent night as he ventured through the winding curves of the deserted road. At one point, a dark shadow appeared on the side of the road, moving towards his vehicle, slowly and inexorably. As he got closer, the musician realized that the figure was tall and slender, with an air of melancholy hovering around him. A shiver ran down your spine as the figure's eyes met yours in the rearview mirror, revealing an uncomfortable, hypnotic glow. A feeling of uneasiness came over the musician, who felt as if he were being watched by something beyond human understanding. The enigmatic presence behind him cast doubt on the nature of the figure and challenged his rationality, leaving him immersed in a dark mystery that would remain with him long after that frightening night. Amid the enveloping darkness of night, the characters in the stories encounter supernatural encounters that challenge their perceptions of reality. Deep fears and unfathomable mysteries intertwine on the lonely roads, manifesting themselves through sinister figures and inexplicable events. Each story reveals a disturbing facet of the unknown, plunging the protagonists into a whirlwind of intense emotions and existential questions. The feeling of being watched by something beyond human reach haunts their minds, leaving them in a constant state of alert. On these nighttime journeys filled with suspense and horror, the fine line between reality and the supernatural dissipates, leading them to question their deepest beliefs and fears. Deserted roads become the dark stage where nightmares come to life and hidden forces reveal their menacing presence, challenging travelers' sanity and leaving indelible scars on their souls. As the darkness of night envelops the deserted roads, a feeling of suspense and dread hangs over the lonely traveler. Headlights cut through the gloom to reveal empty, silent stretches where dancing shadows play at the edge of vision. The whistling wind echoes through the shadowy trees that lean like specters, casting a sense of restlessness in the hearts of those who dare defy the nocturnal solitude of the abandoned roads. Every twisting curve promises otherworldly encounters and dark secrets, transforming the simple act of driving into an unsettling journey into the unknown. Deep in the night, deserted roads hold unfathomable mysteries and unspeakable horrors, challenging the limits of travelers' sanity and revealing the darkest side of human existence. As the night progressed, the silence of the deserted roads was interrupted only by the sound of tires rolling over the asphalt and the rustling of leaves stirred by the night wind. The moon's faint glow briefly illuminated shadowy patches, revealing unsettling shadows writhing at the edge of vision. Every winding turn seemed to hide ancient secrets and indescribable hauntings, transforming the solitary journey into a journey along the thin line between reality and nightmare. Deep in the endless night, deserted roads held ancient mysteries and forgotten horrors, challenging travelers' sanity with glimpses of the deeper unknown. Beneath the twinkling stars, night travelers witnessed the ghostly sighs of the nightscape, plunging into a world of shadows and mysteries that were never meant to be revealed. If you were intrigued by these chilling stories, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any scary content. Thanks for watching. I hope these stories have moved you as much as they have moved me. Stay tuned for more real horror stories and see you in the next video.